My name is Carissa. I am a scholarship recipient of INCIID, and they have asked me to chronicle my journey throughout this craziness. So this will be the first video of many. First of all, I guess I should introduce myself and tell my story. I don't really know how I'm going to do that in 3 seconds. I don't want this to be long, but basically, I had always struggled with girly issues, just extremely painful cycles, and to where they were debilitating. I would throw up for a week, literally, and be on pain meds and not be able to sleep, and it was horrible. And so we started kind of going to doctors, my husband and I'm sorry, asking for help, and they could not figure it out. And so then everything kind of came to a head with one, after we had been already trying to have a family for about 2 years. And the doctor, I'll never forget, she was doing kind of a routine ultrasound that she had done with me probably every 6 months. And she just like reached over, and her face just went white. And she grabbed my hand, and she looked at me and she said, "I'm so sorry, but you're going to have a complete hysterectomy." And I was just like, what? What are you talking about? Before that, the doctors had just told me that, I was being over dramatic, and that there was nothing wrong, and to be patient. And, I was 23 at the time, and so they didn't even understand why I was trying to have children that young, and very unsupportive. And then all of a sudden, to get that news was earth-shattering. I remember just being in shock, and then absolutely sobbing in my car, trying to figure out how I was going to tell my husband that we weren't going to be able to have a family. So fortunately, we found a world-leading surgeon in California who was willing to operate on me. I had grown 13 tumors called endometriomas. I had severe endometriosis. It was all throughout my abdomen, my bladder, my colon, everywhere in my abdominal cavity. So we talked to him after he saw my ultrasound pictures. He cleared his schedule and had us drive down there that weekend, and he did the surgery the following Tuesday. It was a complete miracle. So he's able to save me, and it was through a process of 2 more surgeries and going on a prostate cancer drug that was able to get me to the point where I was able to try in vitro. So my husband and I have done in vitro 3 times now, and because of my diminished ovarian reserve from my surgeries and my tumors, and then something else called NK killer cells, which we weren't aware of until recently, they have been unsuccessful. And because, we were college students, I was a hairstylist, my husband was in college, and coming up for the money to do all of this has been, imagine being 23 years old and being told that you have to save up $10,000 to $20,000 or you will never be able to have children. It was shocking, is not even the word. It was undoable. Like, I don't know how we did it. I don't know how. It took enormous amounts of sacrifice, and my husband put off school, and we did everything we could. And along this process, and this is where it gets complicated, but all the time I would be late for my cycles. And come to find out, almost every one of those times, by the time, so I'd be let's say 2 weeks late, and then I would take a pregnancy test, and it would be negative. And so come to find out that almost every one of those times I was actually getting pregnant and having early miscarriages. It was in between our second and our third in vitro Nope, I'm sorry. In between our first and second, that we got pregnant, it was right after Christmas. I remember we went and got the blood tests, and um, I remember waiting in the office to get those results and having them be positive, and then the following time of my doctor calling my doctor and saying, that's impossible, you can't get pregnant naturally, that's impossible, and then getting the test results back and having had them doubled, more than doubled, and then and then the following time of getting the blood results back and having had my levels drop to almost nothing. So that first time that I was aware that I had a miscarriage was undescribable, because it felt like it was finally my miracle coming true. But of course, it was not meant to be. That's what everybody tells me. But then, that first one was really hard, because I guess the first time you find out you're pregnant, you don't really even think about the possibility of it not continuing on to be a baby in your arms. It feels real. But after you've lost that once, your heart stays guarded and you're more protected. So after that, after I was aware of everyone after that, it didn't hurt as much, but we got a test done that showed my antibody levels. And I remember the doctor called me and he said, so you've either had almost 20 miscarriages or you've had 2 live births. I was like, well, I'm pretty sure I'd know if I would have had a live birth. So, and over that following year, I had 6 more miscarriages that were, confirmed with blood tests. And, my most recent one was in February with our 3rd in vitro. It's just been the longest road. And, after this 3rd in vitro and everything going the way it did, we were just tired and frustrated and financially out of money. And I don't want to give up, because I want to be a mom so bad. I would give anything to be able to be a mother. But what can you do? What can you do when there's nothing more you can give? There's nothing more you can do. And that's when I met Dr. Scher. He is a specialist in Las Vegas who deals with recurrent miscarriage, and he explained to me that all of my miscarriages, because my body has over and over grown tumors, it has heightened something in my immune system called natural killer cells. That's what is in charge of attacking tumors. So because these cells are elevated, they attack both my eggs and my babies. And he says he knows how to fix it. And he says he knows how to help me be a mother and have children. And at this point, my mom, who is an angel, has offered to be my surrogate. So even if my body won't allow me to carry, he's positive he'll be able to get me quality embryos, and with the help of my mother, between that and the embryos, that I should be able to be a mom. And that's so mind-blowing to me. But the thing is, we had no money. So he told me to contact Nancy Hemingway with INCIID. So I did, and I thought it was the hugest long shot. And I tried not to get hopeful about it, but it was actually Mother's Day that she sent me an email letting us know that we had been awarded officially. I had an inkling. She let us know that we were, at the top of the list, and she said, we're just waiting on the paperwork, and but I just didn't let myself get too excited. But it was actually Mother's Day that she sent me an email saying that we had been granted a scholarship to be able to do an in vitro with Dr. Scher. So, and doing an in vitro with him is something that we've been finding the doctors that are as cheap as possible, and we've never, I don't know, this just feels like a whole nother level of expertise and of, I guess that's the word for it, expertise and knowledge, and it's hard to get excited again, but I feel like this is my first real shot at being a mom. When I had completely given up, I thought I had done everything I could, and I thought that there was no chance. So, so we have been awarded this scholarship, and I just can't explain to you what it means to my husband and I. So at this point, we are planning a fundraiser, and I will post another video telling you all about the fundraiser. But this is me. This is my story. 11 minutes long already. I'm so sorry. And I'm excited to have you guys follow us, and I hope, with all of my being, that this results in a baby. But either way, to have one last shot at this is a chance that we never would have been able to make happen. And I feel like I would really be able to feel like I could move forward knowing that I had done absolutely everything I could do. And if Dr. Scher can still not make it happen, then this is never going to happen. So, okay, sorry. Thank you. Nice to meet you, and I'll talk to you soon.